Not maybe like fit your eye as well as maybe some of the other holes?
I mean, I hit the drive in the fairway today, and I basically didn't have a stance, so you explain that one to me. So you're asking me about 2 drives I've hit in the last 3 days?
Yeah.
Next question. It's ridiculous.
We have a group chat just to schedule our times, and someone in our group put Scottie's mugshot as our group photo. I couldn't believe guys had T-shirts made up an hour after they were on property.
Scottie, I mean, he was right. I beat him by 1 shot, so that's kind of the way you clip the guy.
You like seeing the fans cheer for you. I think sometimes it can get a little too much when balls are kind of going off greens.
Everyone that I've talked to that was hurt sort of says, ease your way back in. You can hurt yourself again. Those kind of things. So.
The golden era of golf has always been defined by its fiercely guarded secrets. For decades, the public has been fed a carefully curated narrative of country club manners, polite nods on the 17th green, and mutual respect among the world's elite players. But behind the closed doors of the PGA Tour locker rooms, a much more volatile reality plays out every single weekend. When millions of dollars, historic legacies, and fragile egos collide under the immense pressure of Sunday afternoon back nines, the facade eventually cracks. Most of the time, the players manage to keep a tight lid on the tension, binding themselves to an unwritten code of silence. But every so often, an outsider who sees everything from the inside drops a hint that shatters the illusion entirely. That is exactly what happened when a series of unexpected revelations from inside Xander Schauffele's innermost circle brought a simmering tour rivalry into the harsh light of day. For months, fans have watched Scottie Scheffler dominate the leaderboards with a seemingly unstoppable robotic precision. He has been framed as the unshakable golden boy of modern golf, a man completely detached from the typical drama and psychological warfare that defines professional sports. But those who live with the players see a completely different side of the coin. Maya Schauffele, a woman who has intentionally stayed out of the flashy media spotlight for years, recently provided a rare window into the raw, unvarnished reality of what happens when the cameras stop rolling. Her perspective doesn't just challenge the public image of golf's current king, it exposes the intense psychological friction brewing between the sport's top 2 titans. To understand how deep this rabbit hole goes, you have to look at the massive shift in the tour's power dynamic over the last 2 seasons. For a long time, Scottie Scheffler operated in a vacuum of absolute dominance. While other players struggled with consistency, Scheffler racked up victories with a terrifyingly calm demeanor. But right on his heels was Xander Schauffele, a player widely regarded as possessing the most mechanically perfect game on tour, yet constantly fighting the narrative that he couldn't close out the biggest events. When Schauffele finally broke through to capture his own historic major titles, the entire landscape altered overnight. They were no longer just colleagues sharing a leaderboard, they became direct obstacles to each other's ultimate legacy. And as any sports psychologist will tell you, when 2 hyper-competitive individuals reach the absolute peak of their profession, true friendship becomes a mathematical impossibility.
Well, one of the things I appreciate about him as a person in terms of his golf is how hard of a worker he is. When I see Xander winning a golf tournament and winning multiple majors in 1 year, I just look at him as a person that has really earned that.
Scottie, I mean, he was right. I beat him by 1 shot, so that's kind of the way you clip the guy. You really gonna have to just focus on myself, and there's gonna be more guys to beat than just him probably.
The first major fracture in this polite brotherhood didn't happen on a golf course, but rather in the highly exclusive private communications shared only by the players themselves. It is a well-documented fact that a select group of the world's top golfers share a highly active, incredibly private group chat. This digital locker room includes the likes of Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, and of course Scheffler and Schauffele. For years, this chat was a place for harmless banter and travel logistics. However, the atmosphere shifted dramatically following the chaotic events surrounding the 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla. When Scheffler was unexpectedly arrested in a bizarre, viral traffic incident outside the course gates, the sports world was left in absolute shock. But while the public media treated the event with immense gravity, the reaction within the private player chat was surprisingly ruthless.
I caught the news kind of like everyone else did from home. You watch it, you think it's a prank, you're in disbelief.
I'm about to get arrested. I'm trying to get to a tee time. He did tell me to stop, but as I went by him, he grabbed my arm and I was in wall on you. All my stuff's in there, my player bag, my wallet, my phone.
Have a seat. Have a seat. You've had, just to clarify, nothing to drink today, right? Nothing to drink this morning at all? Just mouthwash. Okay.
All these charges get dropped because he's not a criminal at all. So he's an awesome dude.
Almost immediately, the group chat transformed into a theater of psychological warfare. The players, led by some of the most competitive minds on tour, wasted no time in capitalizing on Scheffler's vulnerability. They immediately changed the group chat's profile picture to Scheffler's official police mugshot, turning a deeply stressful, career-threatening moment into a relentless inside joke.
There's no such thing as too soon. Did you start, kind of ribbing him a little bit once we got through all of that?
There's 6 other guys, or 7 guys in total on our physio table that come in and out of the room, and
yeah,
that's.
While Scheffler publicly claimed he took the hazing like a champ, those closest to the situation suggest the relentless mocking left a lingering bitter taste. Maya Schauffele's observations from the home front reveal just how much of this locker room tension bleeds into the private lives of the players. When a player returns home from a grueling tournament, they don't leave the psychological baggage at the door. They vent, they analyze, and they reveal the raw frustrations that they are forced to mask during post-round press conferences.
A group chat just to schedule our times, and someone in our group put Scottie's mugshot as our group photo. I couldn't believe guys had t-shirts made up like an hour after they were on property. I mean, people are nuts these days.
This hidden tension was pushed to the absolute limit during a subsequent tour event when Xander inadvertently let slip a highly sensitive piece of information during a routine media availability. During a casual breakdown of equipment logistics, Schauffele revealed to reporters that Scottie Scheffler's driver had actually failed the United States Golf Association's strict on-site conformity test. The test, known as the pendulum test, measures the characteristic time of a club face to ensure it isn't acting like an illegal springboard. Scheffler had been forced to scramble and put a completely unproven backup driver into play just moments before a major round. Realizing he had accidentally breached the locker room's code of confidentiality by exposing Scheffler's private equipment struggles.
You like seeing the fans cheer for you. I think sometimes it can get a little too much when balls are kind of going off greens. And
Not maybe fit your eye as well as maybe some of the other holes?
I mean, I hit the drive in the fairway today, and I basically didn't have a stance, so you explain that one to me. So you're asking me about 2 drives I've hit in the last 3 days?
Yeah.
Next question. It's ridiculous.
Overall, I felt like I gave away some shots, so hoping to clean it up a little bit the next few days.
Xander was forced to issue a highly awkward public apology to Scottie. He admitted to the media that he was the one who leaked the information, an admission that sent shockwaves through the equipment trailers. While the sports media treated the driver leak as a minor equipment hiccup, it exposed a much deeper reality regarding how closely these two camps monitor each other. In professional golf, your equipment is your lifeblood. Exposing a rival's equipment vulnerabilities to the public media is seen as a massive breach of trust.
Clean strike. Good line.
Well, Andrew, it was a 9-iron, and it is right at it. Scheffler.
Can you believe what you just saw?
It showed that the Schauffele camp was paying hyper-vigilant attention to every single detail of Scheffler's operation, looking for any possible edge or crack in the armor.
I asked you it on Friday, are you being hard on yourself? And you were pretty hard on yourself.
Everyone that I've talked to that was hurt sort of says, ease your way back in. You can hurt yourself again. Those kind of things. So
when Maya Schauffele later noted in a private interview that she possesses the absolute inside track to the day-to-day emotions and intense psychological strains of the tour lifestyle, it became explicitly clear that these player rivalries are a 24-hour obsession. The pressure of trying to dethrone an era-defining player like Scheffler consumes an entire household's energy, transforming every single tournament into a high-stakes psychological chess match. What makes this dynamic so compelling to human psychology is the sheer contrast in how these two players operate. Scheffler relies on a chaotic foot-sliding swing that defies traditional mechanics but produces historically elite ball-striking numbers. Schauffele, conversely, is a textbook perfectionist whose game is built on flawless, repeatable symmetry. This mechanical-philosophical divide mirrors their psychological approach to the game. When one player begins to encroach on the other's historical territory, the mutual respect quickly morphs into intense scrutiny. Every single gesture on the practice green, every casual comment made to a caddy, and every private text message is analyzed for underlying meaning. Maya's unique perspective highlights a profound truth that fans often forget. Behind the polite handshakes at the trophy presentations lies a raw, unyielding desire to completely break the other person's dominance. As the PGA Tour progresses into its most demanding stretch, the mask of pleasant camaraderie is wearing incredibly thin. The driver testing scandals, The relentless locker room group chat mockery and the accidental media leaks are not isolated incidents. They are the visible symptoms of a massive underlying power struggle between two athletes who refuse to settle for second best. The public will likely continue to receive the standard PR-vetted answers during televised interviews, but the reality has already been exposed. The era of comfortable dominance is officially over, and the battle for the